Now, on our interview segment this afternoon on Business Docket, we're focusing on the SME sector. And of course, we want to get the perspective of an investor. And of course, this afternoon joining us is Jason Ketman, who is an investor and a director of BizIn, which is a financial platform for small businesses. And of course, to discuss what are the challenges and what are the benefits they might have seen within the SME sector within our country. Jason, good afternoon, and thank you for making time for us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Jason, we start off from that perspective. You are an investor. You have come into the country. When did you come into the country, first of all? And tell us, what did you make of Kenya's SME sector?
Yeah, so I didn't come here focused on the SME sector. Rather, okay. I came here in January of 21. Beautiful country, amazing people, really loved it here. And as I was recognizing that I would be spending more time here, I wanted to do what I could to hopefully contribute to some of the amazing things that are going on here. And so in talking about the SME space, it's estimated that 97% of these businesses are running completely manually, notebooks, pen and paper, things like that. But that creates a lot of management challenges. And so, for example, with BizIn providing financial systems, this makes them more formalized in a capacity that the banks would accept their records, and allowing access to capital to be easier. And then when talking about Jungo Farm, they're focused on providing business systems to pharmacies, but even large hospitals as well, in streamlining their procurement process with the suppliers that they work with.
And of course, you've just clearly stated, because when SMEs, people who are in that particular sector, when they see investors, people normally think they just want money to finance some of their businesses. But aside from that, will there be a training or any technical expertise that investors can offer these SMEs so that they can do what you're clearly stating, to keep records of their financial statements?
Yes. So every organization that chooses to do business with either Jungo Farm or BizIn gets free training so that they can be accustomed to it. But both platforms were designed with the intent that they would be as easy to use as possible. They've gone through many, many iterations of feedback from the customer saying, actually, I would like it to look like this, or I'd like the workflow to work this way. Yes. So much so that within BizIn, they use plain English. And so I think that finances and accounting can be a little bit complicated if you're talking about debits and credits and things like that. Instead, they've simplified it to say, okay, this is income and expenses. And if you had any questions about why you would input income and expenses, there's something on every single page called page hints, which is a question mark you can hover over, and then they say, oh, we want to put this in so that we can tell you how much free cash you have, what the profitability was. We can create statements that organizations might want to be interested in, such as cash flow statements and balance sheets and things like that. So certainly training has been an important element in helping these SMEs with adaptation. At the same time, they're really built to try and be as simple as possible so that anybody, even without any technical experience or acumen, should be able to use them.
Maybe in your final remarks, we have seen so many SMEs short-lived. They do not even reach 5 years of what they had envisioned. So what advice can you give them, given that they are watching you right now?
Sure. So I think a lot of those challenges are often driven by a lack of transparency within the business, right? And so to understand, how profitable are we? How much are our daily sales? What do we need to be doing to cover our standard expenses, and how can we be more efficient? And so I would argue that technology enablement like this should help reduce that failure rate of these SMEs that are doing everything that they can to try and provide a valuable product or service, and really give them that leg up that will allow them to survive.
Thank you so much. I'm sure it was short, but at least we have gotten the meat of what the conversation was going on. Of course, that was Jason Ketman, who is an investor as well as a director of BizIn, which is a financial platform for small businesses. Thank you so much for coming in this afternoon. And of course, we want to dive into the world of sports on what we have prepared for you on the fields. And of course, we're also keeping an eye on Parliament precincts. Any moment from now, as we're being told at 2:30 exactly, the senators will be coming back to discuss the impeachment impeachment hearing of none other than Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. But now to the playing fields, where the national boxing team hit squad left the country today to take part in the Africa Boxing Championship that is currently underway in Kinshasa, DRC. The Kenya contingent comprises of 12 boxers, 9 men and 3 women, and 3 officials as well. Some of the boxers included in the men's squad